going on, guys? John 46. We're going to live stream some Ready Goes. We've got the Royal St. George. We'll probably have the Congressional. It usually fills up pretty quickly. We got the Kiawah front 9, and we've got the Kiawah 18. So we've got 27 holes of Kiawah to play. It's kind of a lot of Kiawah. Looks like the Pebble's okay. And we've got some brackets to play as well. I think we've got 3 brackets, probably 3. So we've got 3 brackets to play. We got a 9-hole tier list, and that is Bandon, always a fun one. We got Pebble against Tiny Bow, so that should be a pretty fun match. That's going to be one where we got to go pretty low there. And then we got the 9-hole tier list. Looks like we're good there. So we're moving forward to the finals of the 28th there. So let's go ahead and dive right on in here. Let's start with little Royal St. George. I usually like to use Congressional back 9, but let's spice it up a little bit. Let's go with the old RSG back 9 moderate wins. Okay, and we're starting it off with a nice little breeze in the face. So we're gonna hit just a little bit of backspin, probably less than half, 3/4, something like that. No, I'll say a quarter back. And we don't want it to get caught up in the wind too much here.
That's in the garden spot.
19 miles an hour, dead in our face. We got 138, and we're uphill 11. Thinking we're just gonna hit a full 7-iron. We're gonna rip it right at it. Give it a little bit for the wind and release and things like that. This should be a good number. I might take I'm gonna take a little bit of spin off, and I'm only gonna hit it like 99%. Oh, overplayed the wind and we pulled it. Not good. Not good. Distance wasn't bad. If we ding that, it's probably pretty tight. Probably pretty tight, but as it is, we did not. So, got a little bit of work. We got kind of a crazy looking putt here. Let's see. Trying to visualize a break here. Visualize an attack. Like Bobby Boucher. Alright, so I'm thinking about 3/4 of a grid here. So 3/4 of a grid looks pretty good. That's just kind of right where my eyes kind of started going. The only part of the putt that concerns me is the very end. So we can see in chip view, the very end's kind of docile. We're not going to get a whole lot of break there. So all of our break's going to come within the first half of the putt. I don't know if it's going to move it this much for the first half. This view, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing that and some maybe. In this view, I'm not. So if we're seeing it and some, I think we go ahead and roll with it. We're going to hit this like 27%. Hopefully it was and some. Yeah, we got it.
Great roll.
Alright. Well, that worked out well. And we got 241. We got a slight breeze. It's not really going to help out too much because we have to think it's moving so far from right to left, and it's such a light breeze. It's only going to impact the shot probably maybe 2 yards to 3 tops, I would say. So I don't think it's going to do a ton. Got to kind of hit 3-wood here. We're just going to choke down. We're going to hit this 3-wood like 93%. And I pulled it. That's not the worst thing though. Kind of overplayed the wind anyway, so should still end up okay. Stay up there. Come on, don't do it. Oh. Misting killed the distance, which then caused us to go down the ridge. So we need an up and down. Up and down's not really too bad. Actually, we need a pitch in. 16. Pretty good yardage here. Pretty good yardage if we are going to pitch it in. We see the wind left to right. We got to factor that in. Dots are right to left, but the dots when we land aren't going to affect the shot a whole lot. So let's go about right here. And we're going to hit this almost 17 feet, but not quite. Oh, that wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. And we're going to keep this on the inside of the cup, hit it about 4.5 feet. Okay. Didn't get the bird. Tough hole. Tough hole, especially guys like me that don't ding a ton of shots. Alright, so we got options here. We could lay back, give ourselves a nice wedge in, or we can go for a little more aggressive, leave ourselves a punch in. I don't really like a punch here. I don't like a punch just simply because it tends to really get a good hard kick. So you get that mega kick, and that makes it unpredictable. We don't want unpredictable. I'd rather hit a wedge in something I know that I can bounce it right by the hole and it's going to just kind of hit and stop. So we're going to play the numbers a little bit here. And that's not bad. Actually, we end up in punch territory anyway. So, but it's a good number to have in. It's a nice full number. So this is a good thing. This is a good thing for us. Alright, so we're going to play a little bit of backspin just so it hits and kind of stops. A little bit of a pull, that's okay. So we just want to hit and stop. We don't want it to back up, take big hard kicks, anything like that. The other way I would have came in at like 30, 29 to probably 34 yards. So we had to play full back and rely on that hit and skip. Whereas that was pretty similar to a full wedge. Full wedge would have backed up just a little bit, but it's pretty predictable. So we want predictability. If we can predict it and plan for it, then we can be successful. Alright, so we got 128. We see the wind. It's going to affect it probably 2-3 yards. Puts us at 131, 132 with elevation. So we got 132 with elevation. We're going to take a little bit off of full backspin here. Just a hair. And we're going to knock this bastard tight. Come on, wind. It should move from right to left when it lands. So we want to be a little right of the pin. Just like so. It's not bad. A little off on the distance, 3 feet or so, but we're going to hit this 4.5 feet. We're just going to kind of jam it in here. Par 5, we get a tailwind, so that's awesome. We gotta hit this a little less than full. We gotta be somewhat, gotta lay back a little bit. We can't go full throttle or we'll go through. And this is pretty aggressive tee shot actually. Actually a little harder than I like hitting it usually. But we end up okay. We got a nice breeze. Let's see, 20, probably 14. It's gonna take off, I'd say. So we got 230. It's gonna play 216 or so. We want it to land about 7 yards short. So 216, 209 is kind of our target number here. So 209 will be right there. And we hit a monster push. That's okay. Should end up on the top level though. Distance was great. Distance good, aim not good. Alright, so we got a good look at it here. Got a good look. We're going to treat this like it's 12 feet. 12 feet, we see really pretty minimal break. I mean, this thing's almost going to be dead straight on us. We just got to play just the slightest amount of break here. I'm almost thinking kind of keep it right on the edge of the cup even. So we're going to go edge of cup, and we're going to hit this like it's 12 feet. Oh, thought it was going to do it. Thought it was going to stop. So that was good eagle. Good eagle there. Yeah, almost the eagle that was not. Should hit it just a little bit firmer. Alright, we got a little headwind here. Into a hole. I get, headwind's not the worst thing in the world. We're probably not going to be able to get there with 3-iron, but yeah, we can squeeze a 3 in there. So we can squeeze a 3 in. So that's good. In terms of our wind here, how it's going to affect it, let's say 15 yards. So that's 219. Yeah. 219. This hole tends to play a little bit shorter, so let's call it 217. So 217. Well, let's play it a little bit. Let's call it 218. So we'll go 218. Do we want to go long? We're also uphill, so that brings us back to 219. And we pull it. Not a good place. Now, had that been straight, that wouldn't have been bad. You see we landed 202, so it's not like our distance was way off, and some of that was the misting, but that's a hell of a roll. Yeah, it's exactly how I drew it up. Wink, wink. Precisely. Such a wizard. No, I did know you could do that, but it's not a shot you want to try for all the time. It's actually kind of hard to get it to come down that hill like that. I'm actually shocked it did. So that's good. Usually when I've tried that in the past, I ended up going long and skipping on the backside of that hill, and then you pay a pretty hefty penalty for trying to do that. Let's see. We got a couple options here. So we're playing into a big headwind. Full backspin. Obviously, I got to add more. And the issue then becomes backspin. So once I hit the green, it's going to suck back. And that does leave a little bit of a tricky putt. So I want to come into this with something that's not full backspin. I need to get this damn thing lined up straight first. Okay. So we want to come into it with something that's less than full backspin. So we're going to go 6 iron, half back. It's still going to give us a little bit of juice. So we got to be careful with that. And we're just going to take a full cut out of here. It's on a good line. It's on a really good line. Hopefully it's not short. Little short. I'd say that falls in the range of being acceptable though. We'll take 7.7 feet all day. Not seeing a whole lot of break here. Obviously initially it's going to kick a little bit, but it does bring it back as well. I think if we're hitting this pretty firm, dead straight's the way to go. A little bit. Clicked it just a tiny bit early. Alright, we got a good tailwind here. Really good tailwind. We're going to have a low number in here. Hopefully we get a little backside kickoff of one of these mounds. Should probably play a little more to the right for the wind. Kind of at the mercy of a bounce here, but even if we don't get it, we're still hitting a 56 in, unless we hit a push with our tee shot and get a bad kick, which we might. Nope. Got a good pinball kick there, so worked out well. We have a very good club coming into it. We can be really aggressive, so these are all good signs for an upcoming birdie, hopefully. We're going to play this a little over 70 yards, and if it releases past, that's okay. It's a pretty straight putt past the pin, so we're not going to get too hung up about going long here. Long's our friend, in my opinion. And we get a little bit of release, but manageable. Even if we, for some reason, did get that mighty bounce, it's still nothing that's too bad. 3 feet, we're going to hit this like it's 4. So we just want to kind of ram it in. Although that wasn't a mighty ram, but still we're taking a lot of that breakout. Alright, so pretty good. We're 8. We got a nice headwind here. I say that jokingly. I don't prefer left to right winds here for obvious reasons on the approach shot, but it is what it is. Maybe this is one where we could aim a little bit for the wind and then miss ding early on purpose, just to like kind of give us a double check not to go to the left. Or we could play it straight up and just say to hell with it and give it a good go. So I think I'm actually going to try that this shot. I'm not going to play as much wind on purpose. And this is probably overdoing it, but even if we end up 15 feet right, I'm okay with that. So let's misting on purpose. Misting early on purpose. And I ding it. That's hilarious. It's a damn good thing I didn't either, because this is on a good line. Well, that was another happy accident. Yeah, I like to use that strategy specifically. I think it's a Olympic Club number 3, the downhill par 3, 248 yards, downhill 62 feet. If it's like a slight wind, I'll just leave the hammer straight and try to misting my way over there. Short putt here, not much to it. So 9 under, not bad. Only mistake was on number 2, and that was a misting. We pulled the 3 wood into a right to left wind, caught the ridge, and came back a little bit. So overall, pretty solid round here, and I will certainly take that round. So we got a 26 here, all 1 putts. So that's big to me. But we were sticking it pretty tight. I'd like to see the approach here. 6 feet, not bad. Usually when I'm sticking it really tight, we're talking somewhere between 4.5 and 6. So it's kind of on the latter side of that. Putting. Made all our putts, longest putt 14.2. So overall, pretty solid round here. All right, let's move on. So I'm feeling pretty good. Do we want to tackle Kiawah and heavy winds? Don't know if I'm feeling that good, but got to think about how awake I am, how alert. Right now I'm feeling pretty good. Maybe in an hour I'm getting a little tired, and those heavy winds kind of start to put a little wear and tear on you, we'll say. So let's go ahead and try to knock this out of the way while we're feeling somewhat good. Close this calculator out. All right, so we got a 14-mile-an-hour headwind. And what pin do we have? We got the good pin, so that is great. Back right pin is kind of a bear. This pin, not so much. Things we want to avoid. If you've seen my previous videos on Kiawah, pretty similar here. You know, we want to avoid being long left. Pretty much anything left we want to avoid. We want to go at the right side of the pin. And so maybe we play a little bit more wind than we think. A, because it's heavy, and B, because I don't want to be too far right or left of the pin. We're going to go like 97 yards. So we're going to go 97. Maybe we play a little bit more. Should be on a pretty good line. Hopefully just a little tap in.
On the dance floor.
Yeah, that'll work. We put it right at the pin. We didn't go left. So we put it right where we want. You can see all the break over here. It just kind of gets worse. It gets all muddled up. It's a very easy putt to miss. This one is an easy putt to make, which is what we want. All right, so let's hope we get a straight tailwind right here. Knocking on wood right now. Tailwind. And we get a tailwind. Not the tailwind we wanted. I wanted a direct tailwind, simply just so I could carry the first fairway and go into the second fairway over here. But we can't do that, so that leaves us in a bit of a pickle here. So I want to be in the fairway. If I drive it through, I'm kind of screwed. I got to lay back. So we've got to take a passive-aggressive approach to this drive, I guess you could say. Can't hit it full. Can't hit it full at all. We just got to pray that by taking someone off, a little bit off of our drive, that we land in the fairway and we don't get this crazy-ass bounce right here. I'm going towards the deepest part of the fairway here in hopes to hold it. We landed good. We're getting a good trickle down. I think we're good. Yep, pretty good. Now comes holding this shot into this wind. Now we get the wind we wanted off the tee, except we get it in the fairway. So this poses another issue, simply because we're looking at a shot of about 205, 206. But that actually works out pretty well for us. We want to land this short, take 2 big strong hops, and then kill it. Oh, I did not want to do that. But it looks like we're going to survive. This could be it. 2 hops. Stop. Okay, so that worked out well. Didn't necessarily want to go beyond the pin, but I'll take 3 feet beyond. I think we can hammer the door on this one. So we're really going to put a little zing on it. Take out some of that crazy break. and make a good eagle here. These are all good things. All right, right to left wind. We'll play it a little further right than we think, just to make sure we don't go in the rough or end up in the trees or the mulch or the sand or all that crap that's over there. Better to just lay back.
That's in the garden spot.
All right, so we got a tailwind here on our shot, but we are going uphill, so we're not going to get all that because we're hitting a lower club in. Same with the elevation. We got about 61 yards in. Pretty good number for us here. It's just a nice full number, which obviously we always want to hit full numbers if we can. So that works out well. And we're just going to go at it. I go right at this sucker right here. Oh, a pull. I didn't want to pull it. But it worked out well because I aimed too much anyway. But I like right. I'm okay being pin high right here. I don't like being left so much, and obviously short is can be a tricky putt sometimes. Alright, so good start. We do what we're supposed to do. First 3 holes, obviously the goal is always to go 4 under in the first 3. Now the next 2 are difficult, for me at least. I find them to be challenging. I find 5 to be more challenging than 4, but the approach on 4 is sometimes it's a bit of a head scratcher for me personally. What I don't want to do here, and what I do way too often, is end up short of the pin, because that leaves a crazy putt. So I'm okay going long of the pin here. Long is okay in my book. So in terms of our distance, we're going to hit this about 99%. And if it goes long, then it goes long. It's going to be short. Nope. Ooh, good, good. Right there's where we wanted to be. I'd have been a little upset if that came up short. Because I know I didn't hit the distance for it to come up short. Alright, so we got a little bit of break here, and we've got kind of a weird angle. We're looking at it from like a side point of view. I'm already thinking we're going to hit this pretty firm. So we're going to take out a lot of this break. So I'm already thinking like right there, and we hit it about, 3.5, 4 feet, something like that. Maybe misting. Maybe a misting would have been good, but I didn't. Meant to, but I accidentally dinged it. So that's kind of shitty. And we're just going to hit this like 5 feet. With a misting that time. I actually wanted to misting that one. And I did. So that sucks. 4, that was a great look at it. And kind of pissed that one away a little bit. Alright, in terms of our wind here, 3-4 miles an hour wind. So somewhere around there. Maybe we call it 3.5 just to be safe. I want to overplay the wind a little bit just because if I catch it, it should go right to left anyway. So maybe we give it a little bit more wind than what we see. And in terms of our distance, it's a pretty good 3-iron. We're going to hit, it's close to 99%. And if it goes long, then it goes long. Oh, a little bit of a meter skip there. That kind of sucks. But if we can get down there far enough, it'll work out. And we didn't. Unfortunately, we didn't. If it lands about right there, it gets the kick and it goes down towards the hole a little bit. But we got a quick one here, but it's makeable. Made this a lot, so there's still hope to be had. It's a bit of a deceptive putt. Doesn't look like a lot of break, but we're also barely putting it, so the break's going to be somewhat amplified, I guess would be the good term. It's going to be a lot more than what we think. Like I'm thinking out here and maybe misting it, but even that seems like it could be a little light on the break. So other option, maybe it could even be a half a grid. Could be a half a grid of break here. We can see where it really starts turning if we go up towards the ball. Where the ball's at, we see a lot of break right there. And then it kind of flattens out, and as it gets closer to the hole, it begins to break more. So, yeah, I'm thinking half a grid. It could even be more. Could even be more than that. And I'm kind of thinking it is. I'm actually thinking we're going to have to play a little bit more than that, to the tune, probably like 3/4 of a grid. It looks nuts, but I think it's probably our line. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Always want to miss on the high side though, so I think this gives us the best opportunity to miss on the high side. If we do miss, what I didn't want to do was misting the putt. That kind of sent us on the wrong path. I feel like that might have gone in. Maybe. The world will never know, but I feel like it could have. So, 4 or 5, these are my trouble holes personally. This pin anyway. So, par, not great, but we still got plenty of holes left. Plenty of holes left here to throw some birdies up, eagle, who knows. We got a par 5 coming up next. Just gotta get through this stretch right here. So this hole is one that plays kind of funky sometimes in terms of the distance. See a lot of people come up short here. I think in terms of our wind, we're going to play 9-10 miles an hour of wind. Effective distance of 9 or 10 yards. So we're going to hit our 5-iron, and we're just going to hit it full. It might go long, but I don't mind being long here. Short is just, I don't know. I tend to miss that putt a lot. And we're still short. Wow. So we came up 3 yards short, and we just hit that 187. So I actually played 12 miles of wind into a wind that was slightly quartered. So it's just one of those holes. Like I said, it just plays a kind of a funky yardage. We see a lot of break at the beginning of the putt. I don't think that's going to come into play a whole lot. Maybe the tune of like right there, but I'm just not seeing a ton into this putt. But it is one of those that's kind of tricky to judge sometimes. Let's see. Maybe like right there. So we are seeing a little bit of break. So let's go with that and see kind of what happens. This putt also plays a little bit shorter. So you gotta aim. Yeah, you gotta hit it a little bit harder. Jesus. Use your words. Alright. So we end up making it. That's good. These are all good things. We get a tailwind. Watch out. We might go eagle here. And we've got a very receptive pin for eagle. And we've got a good wind. And we got a good drive. So we should be hitting the 3-iron in here. So we're in perfect 3-iron territory. This one we should be able to nestle up there pretty tight. This is a great opportunity here, if we don't piss it away. You can see that aim was way off. Had I hit that, I'd probably gone way right at the pin. So that's a good thing I didn't. Alright, so we're blasting our 3-iron, full backspin, right at the pin, like a laser. Like a misguided laser. It's on a good line though. It's going to come up short probably. Yeah, I thought about taking a little bit off. That was one I needed to ding in order for it to be pretty good, but oh well. Should have probably looked into that a little bit more. We're going to play a little bit for the wind. This is definitely a holeable shot we got here though. It is a holeable shot we have here. Love those pitches. Hole a lot of pitches. Alright, so all things tend to work out, and that benefited us, so good to go. 2 eagles. Alright, so this hole we're going to play this about, I don't know, somewhere around 210 maybe. I think we're going to get a little bit of backspin from our 3. So we're going to hit the 3. Could go 4, but I'm going to hit the 3. I hit the 3 about 94%. We hit the ding. Our line looks good. We want to be slightly left of the pin. Hit and spin back towards the pin. There it is right there. So we go a little bit long, a little bit left. Use the slope to bring it back to the hole. See, we got a little bit of break here. I think we got to go just barely outside the hole here. And we got to hit it pretty firm. Okay. 8 under. We're setting a good pace here thanks to 2 eagles. 4-5 kind of set us back a little bit, but that's okay. Those are just holes that I know personally I struggle with, so when I make par there, I don't get too upset at myself. We should be okay. Good. That's kind of where we were going to get hung up there. Alright, so we got a slight headwind, and we're uphill. So I'm thinking we're going to play this shot at about 159 or so. So we got 159, which to me is going to be a 7-iron with a little bit of spin taken off. Just a hair. It's not bad. If I'm going to miss thing, I'd rather it be on that side. Distance was pretty good. Overall, pretty good shot. Decent little front nine here. Not the best, not the worst. I'll never turn down 9 under unless it's best par 5s. So, see a little bit of left to right break. I don't think we got to play too much. And I think this is a putt that we hit at about 6 feet. Okay. So, good solid front nine here. Pretty pleased with how we played. All right, let's see here. We got a little bit of a headwind here. I really hate headwinds here. Hate headwind in this hole just because backspin becomes such an issue when we're dealing with the ridges. I much prefer a tailwind where I can hit a 56 wedge in or something like that.
That's in the garden spot.
So spin control is our #1 priority here. Controlling our spin and getting the shot to do what we want. So let's talk about this hole. Places we don't want to be. Pretty much anywhere that's not within 3 feet. If we're down here, sorry, phone call. If we're down here, then we want to go to, have a hard right to left breaking putt. Pretty much anywhere we go, we're going to see a hard breaking putt here. 1 second. Answer a phone. Oh, never mind. Go to voicemail. All right. So again, it's kind of important that we got to try to knock this pretty tight. In terms of our wind, I'm thinking it's going to grab a little more than what we're seeing. Normally I would play this about 9, but I'm thinking I'm going to play it a little bit more just because it is going to grab and release down the hill a little more. We got 137 in, so that's really good when we're talking about our spin control, because now we're going to hit an 8-iron, a little over 95%, which means we shouldn't get a ton of spin. Misdinged it a little bit, but I misdinged it on the right side. Should come back to the hole.
On the dance floor.
We ended up getting release. Release. No. Alright, so we end up with this putt that we didn't want to have, which sucks. We're going to hit this a little over 9 feet. A little over 9 feet. And it's going to play a lot of break. So we got a lot of break coming in here. It's definitely over a grid. Definitely over a grid. I'm thinking about right here with maybe a misting. I don't think that's enough. Not thinking that's enough. I'm thinking like a grid and a half maybe. It's like a grid and a half. Should come down. So let's roll with that. I'm streaming. Alright, so unfortunate there. I think I had the line actually. I feel like that line was pretty spot on. Just needed to hit the ding. Make a note there on that one. That way, if we end up with that putt again, we know what's going on. All right, I can't reach the green, but I can hit in this little collection area, which is going to leave me a potentially holeable shot, hopefully. So we just want to play a little something to get up in that collection area. That's the side you want to miss ding on. Nothing hurt there. We're not reaching anyway, so looks like we might get a hard kick on the green. Look at that. Get up there. Could be a 3-eagle kind of day here on Kiawah. Well, that was a fortuitous kick if I've ever seen one. So sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. I don't know. But we did try to go for the collection area and just happened to catch the backside of a ridge there. So it worked out really well for us. All right, so this one we don't see a ton of break. So it's relatively flat. Relatively flat. We're going to hit this a little over 21% on our 60-foot scale. So I'm thinking, it doesn't look like there's much break here, but there is. You have to think of the length of the putt. So a little bit of break over 20 feet is going to be a decent amount of break, right? So I'm thinking somewhere out here should be pretty good. That's the line that kind of, I don't know, speaks to me, whatever you want to call it. And we hit our ding. Come on, that's looking like a really good putt. Get in there. All right, so we're making pars, but we're managing to get it back in eagles. All right, next two are similar to 4 and 5 on the front for me. They're the most difficult holes for me on this backside, just because again, this just plays kind of funky. I always notice I'm just like way off every once in a while.
That's a huge drive.
These are my difficult holes. So it's downhill 5 or 3. So it's downhill 3. Let's see what pin we got. We got the back pin, which is my personal preference, so that's a good thing. But it does tend to play a little bit shorter. And it's very sensitive to misdings. So if we misding this, we're going to see that it's really sensitive to it. We've got 153 in. I'm going to add just a little bit. And if I go long, then I go long. I'm not adding much. And we hit the misting, but it's not going to kill us too much. It's on a good line. There we go.
Oh,
all right.
Like that one.
So the misting worked out there. What you don't want to do is misting with the wind on this hole. It is very punishing. And we're just going to ram this one in. Not looking at too much break. Alright, let's see if we can get through 13. Another troublesome hole for me. And we got a headwind. Yay. But it looks like I've got the pin that I like here too. So I like the front pin. This pin position plays a little truer than the back pin position. Oh shit, we did get the back pin position. Never mind, scratch that. But if we do get this front pin, it plays a lot more true to the yardage than this one tends to. So usually what happens here is I hit a great shot and I come up short. Or, when I come up short, I come up like 5 yards short. Or I ding it and I think it's perfect and it goes 5 yards long. So there's these huge variances, and I've kind of gone over it and over it just to make sure it wasn't, me. And it could just be the course. If you read the patent, some of these courses they actually use like barometric pressure and stuff to when they're charting these courses. And of course, these are numbers we can't know. It's kind of hard to factor that in. So some of this is just going to be guesswork here. I think this is going to affect us about 9 or 10 yards probably. So that puts us at 180, 186, something like that. So we're going to go 98% of our 5-iron. That's the side we want to miss on, so that's not going to kill us. It's not great, not going to kill us. We're going to come up a little short, but that's pretty good. It's going to be a left to righter, but it's something that we can at least ram. We can take a lot of the break out just based off of how hard we're going to hit it. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. All right. The question is, how much break is it going to have? And I feel like that's probably a pretty good line. It's talking to me. It's saying that's it. All right. So good bird. We made it through those troubled holes with 2 birdies. If only we could have done that on 4 and 5, we'd be sitting pretty right now. Pretty sweet. Pretty. I don't know. Okay, so we've got a tailwind. That's good. That means we're definitely hitting our 3-iron in. And in terms of how much this is going to take off, I'm thinking, 4 or 5 yards, something like that. This hole tends to play a little longer anyway. We don't want to miss left here. Left is a death sentence in terms of birdies. So maybe we play a little bit more wind because we are going to get a little bit of kick from right to left anyway because of the wind. So we've got a good yardage in here. We got a nice full yardage. We got a good strike, and she is moving. She's moving way too much, but we're gonna end up on the green still. End up on the green, but man, that was a lot. So it moved about 25 miles per hour wind aim. But it's not the worst putt in the world to have, and it's very makeable, so we'll take it. We can see there's definitely some subtle breaks here. This is tough because we have to look at the break in this grid, and then we have to make an assumption on how much break we need to play out of this grid line. Okay, so that's kind of where it gets tricky. This view, everything's kind of all in one, so it gives us a little better feel for how much break we need to play. And initially I'm thinking something along those lines right there. But from this view, we can see either something's wrong or, it plays more or less, I don't know. But some of that is influenced by the downhill dots you can see here. So that's going to influence some of that from the reverse view here that we're seeing. So we have to be able to read beyond that to figure out, how much break we need to play. So there's the issue. So I'm kind of thinking like right here. So I'm thinking right here with a misting. So I'm not going to ding it. We're going to misting it. So we're going to hit this 23, 24% because we do have a bit of a headwind and we are mistinging. Didn't misting it enough. I meant to misting a lot more than that. It's kind of funny. You miss a misting. So we had the right idea. The line was right. Just needed to misting that a little bit more or play for the ding. It's kind of a rough one here. Hit a pretty good shot in, pretty makeable putt, and then you don't capitalize. Hopefully that doesn't trickle into the rough, but I don't think it will. Yeah, it looks like it'll be up just fine. Biggest thing we have to avoid here is going through. So through is bad. If we go too long, then that's going to ruin our chances of making a birdie here. So, gotta be careful on our spin. Gotta be careful on our spin. Almost play a safety, bit of a safety shot. Even if we're 9 or 10 feet away, it's not that bad. Didn't necessarily have to hit a big push, but we're gonna be 9 or 10 feet away, or 21 feet away. Might have played that a little too passively. Plus the misting obviously killed a lot of that distance just because I mistinged it so bad. Still makeable putt though. Only difficult piece here is aiming. Aiming is really kind of a bear here. Move this out of the way and get a good look. Get a bit of a feel for how the dots are moving. Let's see. So they're not moving horribly fast. Can't see them moving any further than this. Yeah, I just don't see it moving more than that. So we're gonna hit this a little over 26, close to 27 feet. Not feet, 27%, sorry. Come on, baby, break. Oh, I played a little too much. Oh, a little bit too much. Alrighty. Unfortunate. Tailwind. Nope. Alright, so we got a 3-shotter. Back-to-back pars here. Gotta step it up. 13 under. We got a chance to shoot 16 under. Don't think that'll win it, but it should give us a good, top 3, maybe even top 2 finish here. But you never know. Alright, we're just going to play it a little safe. We're going to play it out to the right. Let the wind kind of bring it back for us. A little bit of a pull, but that's okay. I wanted to pull it versus pushing it. This is a pretty good range here. This is one of those makeable punch shots. So in terms of our yardage here, we're going to skip it in. So we're going to try to land it a little bit short. It's going to take 1 or 2 hard hops, and then it's going to stop. So I want to try to land this a little over 24 yards. I think we need about 2 yards of kick here. It might be a little too much. Could be a little too much. Let's just go ahead and... Ooh, God. Thank God I didn't hit that. Let's get the right line first. We'll get the right club lined up. Sorry. There we go. Alright, there's the number I wanted. A little bit of a misting there cost me. But it nestled up nice. And we've got an easy birdie putt, so can't be too upset about that shot. Alright. Hopefully it's the 220 yard par 3, not 245. And it's 245. So we got the back pin. The putt's pretty easy. It's not the hardest putts. It's really just the daggone tee shot that gets me. So this is going to play probably 249, 250, somewhere around about that. So 249 or 250. So we're going to hit our 3-wood at about 98%. We got a ding. I was a little aggressive on the wind line. I felt like I should have played more and moved it back, but I don't mind being over here. It's not a bad place. Way short though. 3 yards short. A little surprised by that. 18 feet, we see double breaker here. So it goes from left to right in this view at the beginning and slight right to left at the end. Problem is we're not going to get all that end unless we play this just some serious dead weight, which I don't think I really want to play it at. So, how far do we aim? How far do we move our line? I think it could be here. That feels pretty good. That feels like a pretty solid line. But it looks like it could miss too. See, if we don't get all that break, it's risky. Depends on how much we're going to get at the end of this putt. I think that's a pretty good line though. That's probably the line we're going to roll with. And we're going to hit a 60 at about 23% or so. Oh, we didn't hit it with any speed either, but so I was a little bit off. A little bit off, unfortunately. It wasn't quite straight. Definitely had a little bit of bend to it. Just didn't have much. So let's make a note of that one. Alright. This one, we just want to find the fairway. A bit of a par stretch here. I don't like that. I'm not liking how we're trending right now. Ugh. Hopefully it doesn't go in the rough. Yeah, it should be fine.
Good ball.
All right, see if we can shoot 15. We got a terrible wind. Terrible wind into the back pin too, just to make it even worse. Back pin, it's something where it's going to be hard to come at this thing. Even if I can cut the wind at 12 with backspin, we're still struggling to get there. I really hate to hit 3-wood into this. I don't feel like 3-wood's the way to go. I think we've got to try to force a 3-iron up here. Maybe we'll get a good bounce up the hill. A little bit of a pull. Good news is I didn't play a lot of spin, so it's not going to overreact on the misting. Problem was I just didn't have enough distance to get there. I didn't expect it to go 203, but needed to really hit the 3-wood. Probably should have took a better look at that. On the bright side, we have ourselves a makeable pitch shot. We've done it once this round. Let's see if we can make a lightning strike twice. Oh, close. It didn't finish very strong. 9 under on the front, and then we kind of weasel in with a 5 under on the back. So not a good back 9 performance, to say the least. But still a solid round. Kiawah heavy wins. Should be a good showing. 58.